and welcome to the MineWreckers server. My name is Weird and Bearded, and this is going to be the final episode. Yes, just as the final great axe blow cleaves the mighty tree in half, so must this server be felled. That may have been a bit dramatic, but it is true. This server is unfortunately coming to an end. MineWreckers is always going to have a special place for me. It is the first server that invited me in, that said, come play with us, make videos with us, and I'm grateful to everybody involved. Rin, Ares, Top, Free, who runs the server, of course, Triggle, Beast of the North, Gwen and Queen, when they were part of this. I really hope I haven't left anybody out. I don't have a list in front of me, and it would be incredibly embarrassing. But this server is coming to an end. This is the final episode. But I've got one more thing to do. A way to say goodbye to the server, which I feel is very me. And that way, of course, is via the use of dumb jokes. I have been working on this all season long. A nice goodbye present for you all. Here you go. What have we got here? We've got some andesite, some diorite, some anvil, a sea lantern, a rail, a ladder, a nether brick, white dye, a trident, iron ore, a poppy, a snow block, packed ice, acacia wood, a spruce door, lime bed, a melon, a bit of paper, a wooden axe, a dropper, a lilac, a furnace, some gravel, a lantern, a loom, a saddle, scoot, a target block, a beacon, and oak leaves. I've been waiting all server for this. You've been waiting all server for this as well. At least you should have been. I did tell you about it. Were you listening? So we have our farm over there. We have a little farm for ourselves over here. This is why these boats look so janky. They are only temporary. But for now, I'm going to take a little break, grab myself some dinner, and decide what I'm going to do with the villager setup. Especially as it's going to be a temporary one. But I'd like to get some gear going. Okay, I've ended up down. I didn't want to be down. I don't know how fast it is either. Oh, come on, just die, alright? I have a couple of buckets. We are going to fill these from the ocean, and we'll use them to fill up these sections with water. So, hopefully, I was hoping it would spread. So this is going to take me a little while, but eventually, this should work. Maybe if I place it in there? No. So yeah, I'm just going to have to do this bucket by bucket. This is going to take me a long time. I think my next step, if I go back into me, is to get the zombie into place. So goodbye, Anthony. And then if we follow, so the wizard's focus should now be on the iron golem, but we can then seal Anthony in place. Oh, sorry. Okay. So we're going to move the portal over to this island, which we're going to build into a little village. I want to have some small communities just outside of the kingdom, just to add that bit of authenticity, make it feel a bit more real. And yeah, so I'm going to get those portals moved, and we'll see how this looks when you arrive. It's not going to be in its final position. For now, I just want to get a portal onto that island. I visited 11 different villager outposts total, killed 6 LA, and got nothing. I've decided that with the lack of LA heads, I'll add a bonus head as interest on the payment. So I've thrown in an armoured invulnerable withers head from the first wither fight I did. And now, bees. We're going to be working on the interiors of these areas. We're also going to do a bit more detail work. But yeah, we've got a nice wooden building, nice wooden roof. I think wood works well as a roofing material. There are other things that could work as well. I ummed and ahed a bit, trying to figure out what I wanted the roof to be made of. Nether brick, though. We don't do brick. I don't think brick works well as a roof. Stone brick, maybe, but not ender brick. Ender brick? Hello and welcome to the MineWreckers server. My name is Weird and Bearded, and this is not the episode that I intended to put out this week. I was actually recording another episode. I was collecting resources to build a farm. Specifically, I was collecting some gold in the nether when, what do you know, White died and lost all my stuff. And it will replace the shulker in the overworld. This will make more sense on the other side. This is very much me figuring out how I wanted to do it. On the other side, as you'll see in the overworld, if you know anything about shulker farms, I'm very much using the tried and true method. So let's head over to the overworld and start construction over there. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this sign has turned out. We've used the lovely new mangrove wood for the backboard, which I think works really nicely with the birch in front of it. I couldn't decide between iron or cobblestone for the pillars, but with the cobblestone we've then got the cobblestone walls, which are a bit thicker than the bars and just looks a bit nicer overall. We're going to get these last few rails in. One of them, a little awkward to place. This one, for some reason, went off to the side. So we can fix that easily simply by replacing the powered rail and realigning it. And then we take the minecart with the hopper and pop it on to the final piece of rail at the end. Oh, it's tidy and adorable. I love it. Oh, the steering wheel, that's an amazing steering wheel. I mean, obviously it'd be better if it was round, but there's no block like that in the game that would really do this better. So, yeah, that's fantastic. But that's all we have time for. I'm hoping we're going to get a lot more out of this gaming district. People seem to be coming up with ideas. I've got so many ideas. I have ideas for racing games. I have ideas for puzzle games. Maybe we'll just pack dice games into it somehow. But for now, that is all I have time for. I'm currently over at Top's shulker farm. And I'm not saying that I'm going to steal a shulker from somebody else's shulker farm, but just in case you would, you really should protect them a little bit better than this. I can get to these guys very easily. But I've got my meeting with OSHA soon. And let's be honest, I'm not exactly dressed for it. Why have I got sugarcane on me? So I'm going to get myself a little bit spruced up. Yeah, this looks about right. I think this could work well. So what I came up with was this sublime bed placement. They also have access to the water, but their heads are much further away. Their heads weren't going into the water. I did a 20-minute test all at night, so they were constantly falling into the beds with momentum. Not a single villager was damaged. This actually works out quite nicely. That wasn't planned at all, but there we'll have a couple of columns of chest for each item. So that's spider eyes, string, bones, and arrows. We're going to combine everything into one stream, like jelly and ice cream going into a dessert. Maybe we'll stick some caramel in it and put a bit of item disposal at the end. We might even do some non-stackable items. I'm going to leave that up to Beast of the North. First of all, my food situation. I'm currently buying golden carrots from a villager on the small villager island. And with 1 emerald being what I have to pay per golden carrot, and me currently having no villager set up, that's not really sustainable. So we're going to start off with a food farm. I've got one in mind. I built it up this morning to test it. I'm just going to collect some resources. Once they're done, they need to contact me because the system will need to be reset, and I wouldn't ask them to reset the system themselves because I know how to do it and they don't. So this translates to every 477.89 seconds or every 7.96 minutes. I'm sticking with 2 decimal places, except in one spot, but generally speaking, we'll stick to 2 decimal places. So we're now on, it will grow 1 stage every 7.96 minutes. There are 8 growth stages to wheat. However, the first one is just when it's planted, so we're going to drop a stage and we're going to multiply that by 7 to say that 1 wheat will grow every 55.75 minutes. You're not doing too badly. You've done the same number as me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What? How?
I don't know.
I even had to fix that one mess up at some point.
Yeah, you had a massive mess. Now, I'm not saying you're cheating. All I'll accuse you of is being particularly adept at moving sheep.
Do you have any extras?
Now, unfortunately, we've had some server issues, which has taken up quite a bit of time. And this video actually goes live in 3.5 hours, so I need to be getting on with some editing. So, for necessity's sake, I'm not going to be doing any of the lighting that I wanted to do. We'll be doing that next time, but we have a good base to get things started. And then when they finish with the race, they get off the boat, break it, and then they can go and put it back in storage. I think that could look quite fun. So, I'm going to grab all the things I need, and then build up the boat storage, probably build up the kiosk as well. And we might see if there are any MineWreckers around for some racing. Everything goes into place nicely. Now, the thing is, when you're building a complicated machine and you have a good plan, turns out, if the plan is that good, it probably means you haven't thought everything through. So that's going to be the next step. We're going to go with a nice orange terracotta. And I want this to be big. I want, as you approach, I want that funnel to really loom over you. And then we'll have the wood landing, probably somewhere around here-ish. We shall see. Now, those aren't the only two structures down there. There is also the mine shaft. So I thought to myself, let's add a little section to denote where that is, which you can just see over there. And this is, I believe it's going to be the starting room for the mine shaft. It didn't have dirt in it, but I couldn't find one with dirt. I want this to work like an elevator. You go over to the doors, as I'm currently going to call them. You call the elevator from whatever floor it is currently on. It goes down to you. You go in. It takes you to the floor you want. And then you can scoot off to wherever you're going. Oh. Hello, lads. I'll deal with you lot in a bit. They don't look right, but this one... Does that look... I feel like that might be a ragdoll cat. You are safe. You are not my target. Hello there, other village. Now we've got gold. We may as well build a bartering farm as well. I'm going to build it close by because it makes sense for these two farms to be connected. And I came up with a design yesterday, but I need to gather some resources. I do actually need some gold, but I need a lot of other things as well. The final episode. Yes. Just as the final great axe blow cleaves the mighty tree in half, so must this server be felled. That may have been a bit dramatic, but it is true. That was a lot of fun to figure out before each episode, figuring out where all the puns were going to go. I enjoyed myself. Silly jokes are great. But yeah, this is the end of MineWreckers, but not the last you're going to see of me or some of the other MineWreckers, even some of the older ones, because myself, Top, and Rin are joining forces with Queen, one of the MineWreckers alumni, and we are also being joined by the Illuminado on the new Harmony SMP, which we're actually starting the day this episode comes out. So do join me live later, as I'll be streaming from the server as we get started on a brand new adventure. But for now, if you enjoyed the series, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Weird and Bearded. Goodbye, MineWreckers.